You want to hear something crazy? This is my new favorite thing. Whenever we put up our prices, we don't put something at the front that says announcement. Haircut prices are going up $5.
Because
do you know how cheap that looks?
Premium people don't do that. You don't announce that you're raising your prices.
How about this? You know how many times I fucking had people come into the shop and I was increasing my prices?
Ready to go?
Yeah,
Cool.
I was increasing my prices and I just didn't bring any attention to it. And no one said fuck all. Like literally, you think people are looking like on the fucking
Another thing, yeah.
Shit, that's fucking $5. No, dude, they didn't say fuck all. I think when you draw attention to it, think about this. When you go to the grocery store, right? Especially
they never fucking announce it. You don't even know
bananas are more? Oh, dude, who can I speak to?
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares. You know what I mean? So I always tell these guys, right? And I tell my team now, I'm like, dude, your prices are going up. You're not going to say shit. And the reason you're not going to say shit, and the only time you are going to say shit is if they ask. That's when you blame the economy.
What do you do when they ask?
That's when you blame the economy.
What do you do when they ask?
Blame the economy.
Really?
Yeah, look at the price of rent. Look at the price of groceries. Blame everything else. That's when you play the blame game.
Yeah.
You don't go and fucking, imagine this. Imagine having to explain to somebody why you're charging a price.
I agree.
Would I go to dude, if I go to my doctor's, if I go to the dentist and he tells me that's how much is a cavity, I'm not trying to negotiate with them. Yeah, I'm not negotiating with the dentist. He knows best. Now, people always say, and I've had this.
So it's a lack of respect of our industry.
For sure. It is a lack of respect.
And it's always been that.
It is a lack of respect for the industry, but it's also, you know, I think if you can stand your ground and you're
for it, yeah.
Fine. Lack of respect for the industry, but not lack of respect for me and my business. Do you know what I mean? So if you train your people correctly, be like, no, man, this is just how we operate here. And I also have an excuse to basically be like, cool, man, if you don't want to pay my prices anymore, we got Alex who works Tuesday to Thursday and he's at $50. So you can switch and see Barbers.
That's very important.
But here's the next thing. You know that you and I have both gone through the game where we brought someone as far as we could go and they're like, yo, you're at $85. I don't want to pay that anymore. Exactly. That's no problem. So you can see my team. Now, you might not get the same haircut from one of the other team members. It might be similar, but it won't be the same conversation, the same experience, and that's not the same relationship we have. But I'm happy to show you somebody else. But this is why I always say to my team, you're never done building clientele. Because as you raise, and you know this,
you will drop.
You will drop, but you have to be willing to gain.
And if it ain't on the floor, and as in if it ain't on the street, then you at least got to be on the fucking internet.
For sure, dude.
At bare minimum. Well, why don't you tell people what we have to do to fucking talk to people? Bro. Still do it, by the way, just for people to know. Bro, I still go on the street and I grab models because I actually enjoy it as well. Dude. But I used to do this in the fucking winter when it was -40. You told me to run on the streets and fucking grab someone off a bike when they were biking at -40 and the snow was.
That you grabbed
100. I kid you.
You were dinging his
James Protogeros. He was my real estate agent. He got me the salon because of that.
Wow.
Swear to God.
Dude, unbelievable. But that's the thing, right? So like, I mean, I was standing on Ossington a couple weeks ago and I got a couple guys, team members who are building right now, right? And I did this when I was in Victoria. I went out to Victoria since I last saw you. Went out to Victoria and one of the girls who started there, name's Haley, really nice girl. She's like, hey, Peter, like, you know, can I get some tips on building clients? I just grabbed her. I grabbed business cards and I just stood out front and I was like, watch. Literally. And I just went like this. I was like, 4 kids came by. I was like, yo, dude, you guys look sick. You got great hair. How about I give you a free haircut? Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gave them cars.
Dude,
we're laughing.
You just said something very powerful.
But
think about this. A lot of business owners are upset at their barbers for not being busy. But are the business owners educating them and showing them how to do that exact step? Because what do you think most of their barbers are doing? They're sitting down on their chair, looking at their phone, right? And especially with online, everyone's promoting, you should be posting on Instagram, which is, yes, you should be doing that. That's the bare minimum. But at the same time, when you have that free time, because you're going to have a fucking lot of free time, you're not going to be on your phone all day. You should be doing that as a business owner. Go and educate them on how to get clients. And
so let me ask you one more further. Would you rather have a barber sitting in your chair, okay, who's at least doing free hair, cutting hair, making the shop look busy?
1,000%.
Or some guy doom scrolling on his phone?
1,000%.
So I'd rather go to them like, dude, get whoever in here.
Exactly.
Build content, do something, or go home.
Let me put it this way. Let's say they don't even get content. One, there's so many upside, like positive things that could come out of it. One, you've just gotten better at cutting hair because you've done an extra head. But 2, you've just cut someone that could potentially turn into a client. And 3, if you blow their mind, they will tell other people about it.
Dude, I cut Derek Doderline today.
Who's that?
Remember Dodes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I cut Dodes today.
He got married or something, right?
Yeah, he got married. Yeah. He got married. But I cut him. And I literally, in front of the class today, I said, I've been cutting this guy's hair in front of 12 students today.
Before me.
For 12 years. And he's seen you. Now he sees Ethan. And I was able to cut him today. He's got a massive group of friends from Brady
Oh,
to
dude.
Paul to Sean, all these guys.
Yeah.
Right?
You
And it
smoked them
took
together.
one guy to bring me 12 guys. So I don't mind even cutting his hair for free today because I'm just like so grateful for him bringing 12 people to the business. And guess what? Those 12 guys
Still
brought
came to
12
us
guys,
and
and those 12 guys were on a hockey team. I'm like, dude, if you don't really understand the domino effect of literally, like you said, just wowing one person. But that's what I'm saying. Dude, we go into these business owners like, well, what do I expect him to do? 10 haircuts for free today? I'm like, well, what else is he doing?
what exactly?
If not, put the mop and the bucket in his hand and get him to do something. But I'm telling you, when I walk into a barbershop now and think about this, right? Especially for the prices that you and I were charging or are charging. You walk into a barbershop, you see 6 guys sitting on phones and the shop's not busy. I don't want to get my hair cut there. It's like walking into a restaurant and being like, why is nobody here?
But dude, it's the same concept. Bang Bang restaurant on Ossington. Why is there always a lineup? Have you seen it? Or even the pizza place.
Why do you think I put the glass box beside the Bang Bang ice cream?
Fucking smart motherfucker.
That's who our next door neighbor.
But even the pizza, what's the pizza?
Gotta tell you a funny
What's
story.
the pizza place? This one here.
Super Point?
No,
Or Batty Ollie?
Batty Ollie's. Why is there always a lineup? It's because other people see that there's people lining up to eat the food.
Buddy.
So they line up as well.
Buddy. Literally. Here's the funniest thing. So see Bang Bang ice cream? The lineup goes right in front of Glassbox. Someone wanted the lineup to change so it didn't come in front of Glassbox, and I said no. The lineup from Bang Bang ice cream must be always in front of Glassbox.
Wow.
Yeah, I said that's how we do business.
Genius.
Right? And that was the guy.
Wait, Bang Bang said they
No, the guy, because so when you walk into Ossington, we have the shop and then the bar in the back, right?
Yeah,
I'll take you for a cocktail, okay? So Mike, the bartender, who I love to death, he was like, oh, maybe we should get the line to go that. No, that line stays in front of Glassbox forever. I don't give a shit. And guess what? We put a bench out front and it's just people eating ice cream. I don't care if a client doesn't sit on it. Let Bang Bang sit out front.
Make sure your shop look busy.
And guess what? Shop's always busy.
And the other thing is they're looking at your shop if they're sitting there and they're talking about it like, what's this?
But why do you think that I put those lights up at the end of, when you close a Glassbox at the end of the night, it's illuminated. And if you sit at any traffic light, you have no choice but to look in. And that is so funny because I had a kid.
Do you think that brought you business doing that alone?
Dude, one of the kids that works for me right now, he literally told us the funniest story and I'd only heard it recently. And he's like, bro, I used to go buy Glassbox and I was too afraid to come in there to get a haircut. Right.
Why?
But I always he just was intimidated by it until he kind of like went and, he worked at a chop shop and then obviously applied, but he was like, it's because of the lights. He's like, I saw the lights.
It looks sick as hell. Yeah.
He's like, and I was intimidated to get my haircut there and now I work there. Wow. And I was like, it's like those kind of stories that you hear from the younger guys coming up now, right? And they're like, yo, dude, I've been following, or like when someone says like, dude, I've been following you on social media for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, now I'm taking a class with you or, someone put me on to you, whatever it is. That's when you like kind of feel like the most humble being like, oh shit, like maybe it did take 5 years to get you as an employee or as a student. But like, that's why, again, the power of content. It takes one person to follow you and like your shit, right? And then sign up or come get a haircut, right? And again, I got students today, 12 students today. I'm like, guys, you don't realize, I don't give a shit if you don't have 10,000 followers. I would rather you guys.
Students, 10?
We got 12 students right now currently in the school, another 6 starting in August, another 12 starting in September.
And what do you think has been the biggest, like when these students come and sign up, what is the main thing that comes out of their mouth of being like, this is why I made the decision to come to you now? Do you think it's because of, hey, I've known about.
Blow your mind?
Oh, wait, is it because, hey, I've followed you guys. You guys have been in the industry for 10 years. You have the most authority. You guys seem to know the most amount of things.
Yeah, that's
Is it the shops? Hey, you guys have 6 shops. I want to be a part of the shops one day.
For sure. But I mean, we're also doing Cosmo. We're teaching hairdressing as well, right? I think obviously,
and wait,
again,
are the barbers wanting to learn Cosmo as well?
We're making them do it all.
Okay.
We talked about this as well because me and you talked about this because some of the barbers, they have no choice. Because
how long is the program?
Part-time is 12 months. Full-time is 11. But part-time is 3 days a week. Full-time is 4 days a week, which gives them the ability to work and earn.
But they don't get their certificate as close. Like the 6 months will get it right away. For the part-timers, it'll take them a year or something,
It takes them a year. Full-time is 11 months. So they're in the building almost a year, both of them, right? Full-time's a year. Sorry, part-time's a year. Full-time's 11 months.
Okay, sorry, explain that. Part-time is
we have a part-time program is a year.
The full-time's 11 months?
It's 11 months.
Why the hell would you not do part-time?
It's up to you.
Wouldn't you want to just make more money, do part-time and not do the full-time because you could get it?
Well, you get it done quicker because it's based on hours here.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's based on hours. But the thing
is, you learn a lot quicker.
And you learn a lot quicker, right? Like the more you're immersed. But our full-time is only 4 days and our part-time is only 3 days. And the big thing is like what we're realizing is people need to be able to work. right? To support themselves,
Yeah.
because our system here is fucking bad.
Have you had people move from different countries to come and do it yet?
That's no one international yet, but
that'll happen.
Yeah, I think it will. We've had emails.
By the way, I had someone message me that they would want to come to Toronto and just take the class.
Well,
that'll happen.
Send them my way. But here's the funny thing. That's what I'm saying. Is that based on the reputation? Yes, I think the location is great, obviously, but the big one is most people are fucking losing jobs to AI. And I think now is the time that people are realizing, like, dude, what can I do in the physical world? It's a physical job. And guess what? If you become a good hairdresser or a good barber and you're charging a good price, you can make a great living.
Dude.
So why?
People don't realize how good we have it in this industry because of that. Because we will never, ever be replaced.
Dude,
and I think we
we
will be more in demand and we will make more money.
You'll be getting a North Korean haircut. It'll be one Kim Jong-un for everybody. That's like how it would be.
Like as in the robots.
It would be awful. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying.
And it won't happen in our
So
life.
we're finding a lot of people who are on second careers who hate their jobs, who've been in corporate, who've been in the office, and they're like, dude, I hate my life. I hate working here. So we're getting a lot of people on their second jobs, right? So like late 20s, early 30s, which is hard for them because they don't pick up the skill compared to like Percy, who's working for me right now, who's going to Glassbox. We sponsored him to go to the school. But yeah, man, like so many people are like, but like, dude, you can't replace Henry.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you literally can't replace someone who has, how about this? You cannot replace someone who trains their eye to be good at something. You have a trained eye to know how hair is supposed to look and how you want it to look.
I just had this call yesterday about it. Yeah.
Right? My eye is completely trained differently, but you and I can have a very good conversation about how we want something to look. The same as him when it comes down to video, when it comes down to editing. There's just certain things like, dude, I've used certain things like ChatGPT. Like, even if you write a sentence and you put it through ChatGPT, it doesn't feel personal.
Oh, dude, I have something for you. Markets always shift and you have to adapt. We've known this through COVID. We've known this through time. Example, hairdressing was a thing and then barbering, precision-based cutting became a thing. You were the first one to adapt to it. You went to London. We both went to London. Came back. You were the first in the market to ever train people to do it. Then what happened? COVID hit. You're like, what do? I went on into online education. You're like, okay, I got to build a school. You did all those things, right? Well, now with AI, the thing is, dude, you have no idea how many workflows now you could build out where you could save so much time. To give you an example, there's like things I'm learning. And I think people, barbers specifically, or people in general, should allocate at least 10 to 20% of their times throughout the weekends to learn this.
Right.
Because it's going to save you so much money and time. To give you an example, how hard is it nowadays for people, and this is one aspect of it, but how hard is it people to come up with ideas to make content?
Right.
With AI now, you could literally send it to ChatGPT. It could do the whole thing for you, analyze it,
literally
do like 17 things, and then it'll have a script and everything you need to be shooting based on the millions of videos they've done research on. How many hours would that take for you to do? But you
there's
see
no excuse for you to not be on social media.
That's my point.
So there's these stingy fucking barbers that be like, well, I don't do social media. I'm like, cool.
But my point is exactly that. Either you're going to complain that this is happening and the market's changing and you're going to be upset about it, or you adapt and you take advantage and you become number one.
Sure.
The difference is like, you either have to adapt or you're going to fall off. And that's what's happened with us with precision-based cutting. They were like, oh, you're a loser. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, section gods. And we're like, now what's happening? We're the most in-demand people. Oh, can I learn from you? Can I learn from you? But back then, we saw the market. We were realizing what was happening.
I'm getting off the highway a couple of weeks. How about this? This is no fucking joke. I'm sure this has happened to you as well. I'm getting off the highway here the other day. Okay. I'm at fucking
driving.
6 in the morning. I'm driving. I'm in my car. I'm like exhausted, right? And I look over and there's a guy in the back of an Uber waving in the seats. And I'm like, what the fuck does this guy want? So I put down the window. I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, bro, are you Peter Gosling? He's like, I saw your Instagram. He's like, I've got to come and get a haircut. I can't believe this is happening. This is a normal guy. Do you know what I mean? Now, is that a good feeling? For sure. Of course. But that's when I come into the school and I'm like, yo, this just happened. Whether people believe it or not, it fucking did happen. And I ended up cutting the guy. I used him as a model. Right. And I made him tell people, where did you find me? He's like, I was in the back of an Uber. I follow you because I care about my hair. I found you on social media and that's how you got a haircut. Buddy, that's how easy it can be. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine saying to a UFC fighter, you don't have to train to go into the ring. Do you want to win or you don't?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Do you want you want to get beat up? Because like there's a lot of barbers out there getting completely beat up right now. And they're like, why am I not busy? Why are people not returning? Right? How about this? This is my next point. This is the next point that I always like to talk to people about. Okay. I know barbers who are busy, but then I look at their retention. I'm like, why did none of these people return? So you might be busy.
So you might be good at acquiring clients, but can you keep them?
Can you keep them? right? So that's my next.
What do you think is the biggest factor in that? Be honest.
There's two things.
I think I know where you're going with this one.
One, you do have to be technically good.
Yes, but
because
more than anything,
you got to have a good personality. Yeah. And I think that you have to be able to have some
What
sort
does
of
that mean
conversation.
though? What is a good personality? A lot of people, because here's the thing. A lot of the questions, I get this all the time. It's like, should I be talking to my clients?
Right.
And I think I'm like, absolutely you should.
So Joel, who works for me, a kid from Winnipeg, absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. And he's super quiet. But when he does, super quiet. But when he does talk, it's professional.
Right.
He talks about the right things.
Right.
And he keeps it, I feel like he keeps his chair very much his own sort of world. And people know that. And I think he's also been able to build a clientele of people who don't want to speak.
Right.
So, but he was smart,
right person.
He's got a brand. Yeah. He's built a personal brand within Glassbox that he can actually manage. And
he's professional. He's nice enough.
But I'll tell you what this kid did different than most people. He came to me and he worked fucking 5-6 days a week, 9 in the morning, 9 at night, and he was just there, just being present,
doing the mundane day in and day out. Same thing.
But he's on vacation right now. He'll come back. I saw him put up a message yesterday. He's like fully booked when I get back. But he also is the king of Sundays. And I'll be like, hey man, you've earned it. You don't have to work Sundays. Like, don't ever take my Sunday away.
Because he's taking advantage on the days that most people take off.
So make up your mind. You want to be busy?
Well, dude, can I be honest?
This? You know what the best schedule is if you want to be busy? Work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I said it in the video. Tell me if you agree with me. In this world, in this industry right now, we're talking about, you should take weekends off. Weekends are hard to work. You shouldn't work on the weekends.
What the fuck is the weekend?
Dude, what the fuck is... Dude, I said, you think that's hard? Have you not seen people on the roof doing roofing till fucking from 10 a.m. till fucking 8 at night and plus 40? I'm like, how is working through the weekends hard?
Bro,
how are we having a conversation? Then me and Justin had this. Justin literally brought up, he's like, dude, this isn't fucking hard. It's not hard. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
What is it that you do on a Saturday that you can't do on a Thursday?
True.
That's what I ask people now. I'm like, what is it that you do? What is it? Is it because everyone else is off?
But even further than that, I don't think you need to have balance when you're starting off in this career. Especially if you want to acquire the money and the wealth that you say you want to acquire, you need to sacrifice your time, your days.
Well,
because the only value you have is your time, nothing but your time. And your time will compound because your skill sets will compound through time. And you have to give time as the sacrifice for your skills to get better.
No shit.
That means working throughout the weekends. That means telling your family or whoever you love, hey, listen, I have to do this for the next year or two. And this is why I'm doing it, because I'm building something for us.
Buddy, some Saturdays, this is my day. I'll go wake up, go to the shop, come back, pick up the kids, do an activity.
How many years you been cutting hair? Or in this?
20.
There you go.
Okay. But listen, I got 2 kids. So that means up in the morning, sometimes go down to the shop, do some services, come back, do an activity with the kids, then go back to the shop because I'll fit people in wherever because I'm at the Hamilton shop. Dude, my staff don't even know I'm in the building sometimes because I'll go at fucking 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, now like the next
If someone calls me for a haircut and they're like, I'm going to give you $100, you think I say no? Oh, go cut your hair.
Wow.
And most of my guys are older dudes, dude. Some of it's, I'm not going to lie.
Easy.
Some of it's clipper over coat.
And you enjoy talking to them.
For sure.
Yeah.
They bring a beer, whatever. I don't say no.
But let me ask you this. Now how do you
get a bit upset sometimes?
That was my point. How do you bring this up with your family? And if you don't mind me asking personally, how do you structure this? What's conversation? Exactly.
It has to be worth it. Do you know what I mean? I had a great conversation with Alan Beek way back in the day about when he came to Toronto and he was doing something with us. And he said the best thing, and I've always kept it with me. He's like, I'm going to leave the wife, I'm going to leave the kids. There has to be value for the wife and kids as well. So if he's coming to fucking dick around with us, right, and do some cutting, go to the bar, have a laugh, whatever, and he comes going empty-handed, well, she's going to be like, well, you're not doing that anymore because that's vacation time and that's for the family.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's what I always say. Like, you know what? You want to hear the funniest thing?
Wow.
See, when I go on travel trips, by the time I'm done class, I'm so tired because you're usually talking all day. And people usually want to host us, be like, I'm going to take you to do this. I'm going to take you to do that. We'll do this. I'm like, take me to the hotel so I can go to the gym and go to bed because I'm on work. And my job is to give you 110%. My job is not to fraternize with you after work. Right now, I'm very appreciative if we go for a meal and stuff like that. But like, I'm not like out getting drunk with students and partying and doing all those crazy things anymore. Like I've been there, I've done that. For me, when I go do an external trip,
and this is the thing, education is glamorized where people think that we get to travel because we get to have a vacation right after. But the truth is, most of the time you don't get to see the country because you land in your hotel.
I see the airport.
You land in your hotel. This is what it literally happens every single time I've taught. You go from by the way, when you land, you're exhausted. The flight fucking knocked you out. Then you go to the hotel, but you need rest because you know you're about to teach in front of hundreds of people.
Are you jet lagged?
You're jet lagged. Then you're talking to people. Then you're done the class, and then everyone's trying to take you out, but you don't realize you have a flight in the morning. So what are you gonna? Because after the flight, what they don't realize, you go right back into work,
dude.
So it's like
I've done red eyes and landed and gone right to work. And if you don't sleep on the plane, buddy, you're on the gas is you're empty. You're on empty.
Your week's finished.
Which is dude, it's mental. But like I also have this. Like you don't have family and kids yet, and I'm sure you will one day. But like I also think about it this way. Like imagine I go somewhere, and I was just in New York recently, and I literally was sending pictures of things to Caitlin, my wife, of being like, look at this, look at this, look at this. I'm not gonna go in because if we come back, I want to take you. I won't even go and do fun stuff because like that's kind of like sticking it to it's like rubbing it in her
But
face,
also because you also want to do it with her.
For sure. Like I'm not gonna go eat at a Michelin star restaurant in Chicago on my own. Do you know what I mean? I'll just get whatever. But again,
is it because you feel ashamed that you would do that because of Caitlin?
It's not a shame. It's just like you have this sort of guilt because obviously she's at home with children. You know what I mean? And like I've been through all the motions, and it gets harder and harder to travel as your kids get older. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When they're young, it's actually, it's kind of funny. Like when they were infants, like it's pretty structured, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Now when they're older, it's like hard to get two
more
kids
emotions,
running around. Yeah, for sure. And they're like, all of a sudden my dad's gone for another 3 days. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. And I've heard other educators talk about this, and it's fine. And again, it's a part of the job, and we're I'm not shying away from it. You signed up for it. Yeah, dude. That's what I mean. Like I've seen other people complain. I'm like, well, you can stop. You can stop. You can quit. You don't have to do it.
Okay, let me ask you this. We spoke about it briefly. So who's right now as educators or people in the industry in general that like you're looking up to and you're interested in seeing, and you think that are doing the right steps, or at least have figured out in a way that they have the right structure, right? So they have that maybe family time, or maybe they don't, but they also have the education. They also have the business. Like who's inspired? Maybe that's none of that, but like who is really inspiring you?
I mean, I love Charlie. I mean, because Charlie's a father. I mean, Charlie's having his third. He's crazy, but good for him.
Good for him.
I think he's having his third. He's on his third.
Crazy. Yeah. Good for him though.
Yeah, he should be working for her. Okay. But I think me and him have talked about family and balance a couple times, which has been good. And I feel like I always like to watch Charlie. I think Charlie's style of haircutting has also evolved quite a bit. I think he kind of saw a bit of the industry forecasting as well, where he was like, you know what, it's not going to be just about men. It's going to be creative. It's going to be different. I like that Charlie puts out haircuts sometimes that I think people sometimes would be like, I don't know if they like it. Do you know what I mean?
But you like that.
I like that. I like that. Exactly.
And you're willing to push the boundaries. So you want to hear
something that this is a big conversation I've been having. Back in the day when I used to watch and go to hair shows and read hairdressing magazines.
For people that don't know Charlie, who's Charlie?
Charlie Gray from Hair Emotion, X-Menspire. I think it's interesting for me because I think Charlie sees a lot of really cool fashion stuff and he's around it a lot. I mean, it's just one person I've always sort of looked to, and he's younger than me. Do you know what I mean? But I got a lot of respect for Charlie. But the funny thing is what I was saying is when I used to look at magazines and go to hair shows, sometimes you would see stuff that people would call that's really hairdresser, that's not good. And sometimes I think we got to look a little bit deeper and be like, maybe it's not good, but maybe it's different. I think we're so used to seeing what's really good that if you step out of being different, people call it shit, which is not really shit. Because if me and you, and think about this, really think about this for a minute. Imagine you and I did a crop mullet in those first 2 years of Glassbox before the mods and all that stuff came in. People would have been like, that haircut sucks.
Yep.
People have bought into haircuts because trends happen.
Yes.
And if we'd done a mullet back then, people wouldn't have liked it. We were doing crops and we were doing slickbacks.
We were also doing the 60s looks.
For sure.
Doing the Beatles looks.
For sure. Then. We were doing stuff then, right? But again.
But it's interesting, I still, doesn't piss me off, but it makes me still feel like we're behind. I still think precision-based cutting is still behind.
Sure.
The reason why I say this is my fading videos always do a lot better. Oh. To this day.
I don't know if that's because you're in a North American market.
Maybe.
But I feel I don't know. It's tough. I get it.
But that's the market we're in though. So what do you think will happen? Is that eventually where we're going?
Well, how about this? When I started cutting
and by the way, don't get me wrong, because that's always going to be the bread and butter. We get that. But there has to be an evolution where precision cutting gets as respected, if not, in my opinion, more because of technical abilities and because you have variety. You could do both.
Right.
But I don't think we're there yet. You know, I don't get me wrong. People respect me because I'm good at both.
For sure.
But I don't think if that's the whole market. I think it's still select people. And most of the people that do follow me are European.
Right. Okay.
Americans, it's not as big of a market for me as Europe. When I go to Europe, Alexi, America, I'm kind of a bit of a ghost still.
Fair enough. which is funny because I find like a lot of my market is actually the States. But that's because I feel like a couple of my business videos took off, and I think that really spoke to business owners.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But you know what's really funny about social media is like my socials have taken a dip as of recently. And if you go through my numbers, like some of my videos are only like, dude, I was minimum hitting like 22, 30K at one time. The minute I started cutting bobs and started doing women's hair again, it fucking dipped.
There's
huge.
a reason why, because you initially had a market of barbers, and now barbers don't want to see that.
They don't care. They don't care.
It's still not there because they don't care.
Right? So most of my scissor work stuff is like just like, and you
like
know what?
Slickbacks. Your slickbacks will blow.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny? I feel like a little bit happier right now because I've actually switched it up. I'm not doing all the same stuff. I could go in tomorrow and shoot 3-6 slickbacks in a row.
So let me ask you this. This comes back to the initial thought of like, what is your thought? Is that something that upsets you? And what is the intention behind it? And the reason why I say this, because you're doing something you like. But something you like might not be what the market likes. And if the market doesn't like it, that might not get you paid.
I'm going to tell you a funny story.
That might not get you paid.
At one point there, I had higher followers than you.
Yes.
Then you caught up, and then I went ahead of you again.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you went up. I was like, how did this guy do it? Do you know what I mean? And I was impressed. Like, that's when I was like, I'm like, he's done it. You can't talk shit, and I can't knock him.
Yeah.
Right? But I've always said this about social media. Like, for me,
by the way, shout out Henry.
Yeah, shout out Henry. Shout out Henry for sure. But I've always said this, right? Like, and again, like I started to look at your stuff. I was like, dude, I could see like you and Raposo, like we're doing some pretty wild stuff at one point. And I was like, it's not really my style, right? But I was looking and I was like, I see why it hits, and it worked for you guys. But I do think that age gap between me and you was a big thing. You were a little bit more in tune. I was still running my business. I thought I was still doing videos the old way. I had to switch up how I was doing my videos. And I think sometimes people don't look at that shit either. Like that's its own job and its own position. If you really want to stay competitive, you got to start looking at what's fucking hitting. So like, I don't like that guy, Marty Blends does really well.
Yes.
He can't use scissors. No disrespect, Marty. You're sick at what you do. And congrats.
But it's his lane. He knows what he does. That's not his lane. Right?
But I looked at his videos and I was like, yo, this guy's doing really well because he's doing something.
He knows his market and 100%. He knows what he's figured out. He
100%.
cracked the code for that. So let me ask you this, because this is important as well for business owners. So what do you think as business owners, what would be the highest? Wow, this is a good question. As a business, because you have to do marketing for the business. Yeah. You need to be the operator. You need to be doing all these different tasks. What do you think for you was the highest leverage activity that yields you the most amount of return for your business, or at least
students or clients?
What does that mean? Like cutting clients?
Like which ROI are we talking about?
Right. Good question. I would say, let's just say for your business. So like your barbershops.
For the barbershops.
What would be like, would it be like talking to staff? Would it be training staff? Would it be posting on content? So then, more barbers would see you, more clients would see you, building more authority through your brand. What do you think was the one lever that you pulled that you were like, I've seen the most amount of return based on this activity?
When we hosted in-person look and learns and education.
For clients.
Not for clients, for barbers. For barbers, when we had 3, when we had Anthony the barber, when we had Menspire, when we had Alan.
This is gold.
I brought it all in.
This is gold.
Andrew would go like this. Andrew would be like, dude, can we afford this? And I'd be like, watch. I'm going to get...
Andrew said?
Well, yeah, because we had to spend money on bringing these educators. Yes. You think Josh was cheap? Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Josh ain't cheap.
Yeah.
It costs money to play. You 100%. Want the band to play? You got to pay.
And also,
you know what I mean?
What's the saying? DJ Khaled says, yesterday's money ain't today's money.
Yeah, right? Like that's the reality, right? So we brought Josh in, right? But we were able to put guys in the class for free. Like there was things that we did, right? We brought 3 education in. That was 2 guys. That wasn't cheap.
So why do you think that was though? Why do you think that brought more? Because
people were like, holy shit, this is a fucking education hub. I'm going to go work there. And then they got to meet us. They got to hang out with us and they saw that it was a vibe and we were continuously doing stuff like this.
Great, you said it. Right? See, the bait, not that you did this on purpose, was the educator. And then when they got to talk to you, like, holy shit, Peter is a fucking cool guy. I'd love to work with this guy because he's humble.
Well, they're going back to work the next day and they're like, this place sucks. That's literally what they're doing. They're like, dude, this, like, why am I here?
Because the other guys
I could literally go up the street and work there. And that's why, dude, I brought Hugo in. I brought we've never stopped.
You still do it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Dude, I have multiple educators coming in at the school and my staff have access to that. So that's why, like, even Addie was like, oh, dude, wants to be a part of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, for clients, I mean, we used to give out beer, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge one. After COVID hit, people were pissed off that, we didn't bring it back, but we weren't allowed to have it. Like people didn't want open drink. Yeah. Like
it became a bit of a headache. So what do you think would be now for like a business owner? What do you think could be something that they could apply into their business that maybe
I think truly at the end of the day, I think it's the experience to come in a glass box. It's clean. The locations are on point.
Do you think a receptionist is important?
We eliminated reception.
Okay.
Right. We had it, but obviously it was like $60,000 at the end of the year. And it was like, nah,
you can't really
everything's gone automated.
that.
And that's why I'm not against automation. I'm not against AI. I'm not against automation. You know what I mean? Like we have a really good system at Glassbox now. We don't even pick up the phone. Right.
Interesting.
We have an app, and if they have the opportunity to pick up, it sends you a direct message to the linking. But like similar one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hands off. You can't walk away from a client and answer the phone. That's just not going to happen.
You're also losing on such a big pocket of people.
It's not the early 90s where you got to pick up a phone and make an appointment. Most young guys don't even want to speak to you on the phone, right?
What about the old guys?
The old guys are pretty conditioned now, but most of the old guys,
because every other business is operating in the same way.
People so well that the old guys just rebook. They want the notification, and that's why I think retention is more important than the acquisition. That's what I'm saying.
Your money is.
And if you're doing that, and on LTC, you guys should be pushing the retention over.
We are, dude, because that's the most important thing. Because I always say this: acquisition is the hardest thing, and it's like the easiest thing is what's in your business and leveraging that. Because lifetime value. Like, here's the thing: would you rather have a client that pays you $200 one time, or someone that pays you, let's say, 70, 80, but they come every 3 or 4 weeks?
For sure.
But it's like it's both. Okay. It's not one or the other. Well, ask me.
This is what I realized, and this took me a long time, okay? This took me 10 years. What is when you think of a barbershop, what is a barbershop to you? What is it about? What is a barbershop about now?
Well, it's like you said, the experience, making them feel good.
For sure. But a true barbershop at this point is about availability and volume. The problem is how do you get quality volume? That's the trick.
Well, that's the education.
That's the trick, right? So you need to control the volume. The availability, personally, I want a Glassbox open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
So that's what
I want.
Let's talk about this. A lot of people tuning in will probably be asking this question. So let's say I'm a business owner. I don't have, let's say, the skill sets to be able to train people because I don't have the quality. I do have the quality to some degree because I've been able to get clients and I have enough money.
Are you behind the chair?
I still am, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you invest in education for yourself and then get to a point where you have the training?
We got tired of that, and I was like, go to hair school. I'd prefer them to go to whatever hair school to get some foundation and then build on that.
Okay.
Because I had guys coming like, you got to think, I won't name names, but we've had people that came to us with no skill set.
Like business owners?
No, not business owners, but even at Glassbox back in the day, we've had people who started with no skill set, and it took too long to train them. It took too long.
So are you saying now you only hire based on someone that's gone to school?
Won't even look at you.
Wow.
Won't even take you.
Hair school is mandatory.
The resume just gets put right.
So that's the whole point of school.
But people would say that I'm biased though because I have a school.
But also
now I have the school to place.
Exactly.
It's just
the whole
a pipeline
point is that you have them. It's literally that you said it. That's the word. It's a funnel. It's like a pipeline.
That's it.
You get them to the school and then perfect. You're ready. You get them to the shop if you.
And I can't take everybody, right? And that's why I say to business owners, the biggest mistake that business owners are not making right now is some kid comes to you and says, "I want a job," right? But you like the kid. He's got a good attitude, right? You put him on the shop floor. Right. And the problem is business owners, they'll go like this. Don't worry, bro. I'm going to train you. Dude, a year later, kid's pushing the broom still. So now the kid is pissed off because he's been promised something, but this guy is way too busy behind the chair because that's where he gets his income because the fucking shop's not profitable. So he has no choice but to cut hair, but is promised to train this guy. Right. So all of a sudden this kid's like, well, fuck this. I'm out of here. Right. So he's either going to leave the industry or he's going to make the decision that needs to be educated. So which one are you going to do? I would tell him, like, why would you even bring this guy on? You're wasting your time. Send him away for 10 months. Right. Send 3 of them at a time. Get someone else to do the dirty work because I'll tell you this, the barbershop and the salon is not a training facility. It's a distraction. It's hard to do. They can learn and shadow, but you can also learn from 6 people, 6 different ways, which can also confuse the student. You have a system. I've seen Learn to Cut. You go through it. Yep. It's laid out very nicely. I get it. And it just step by step by step by step. That's what training needs to be. That's why we have a curriculum. You need a curriculum. You can't just have a guy like, do this, do that, a little bit here. Like, it's a fucking mess. Right. And then you get these kids coming up,
results.
And I look at them and I'm like, where did you train?
Yes.
But this is what I was saying is like training starts from answering the phone to taking someone's jacket with a handshake. Like that is where training starts. They're not even getting that.
That's also how you build a relationship for it to last.
They're not even getting that now.
Lifetime value is what you always
And young guys are coming in. And I think right now a lot of young guys are struggling personally to find jobs and roles and positions. I think becoming a hairdresser or barber is a great job for young people. Male, female, everyone in between, to be completely honest with you. But the reality is it's very hard work, right? It's not like going to school where you might learn how to do general arts and science. Like, I don't know what kind of job that's going to get you at this point. I look at some of the degrees at college, university. I'm like, seems like you're wasting your money. Yeah. To be completely honest with you.
Because what are you going to do?
You know, oh, dude, you know how many people we've had come through and be like, yeah, I went to university, went to college.
Dude, I've had people come to me asking for jobs being lawyers. Yeah. Like literally lawyers. You did like years of school, spend years spend so much money.
Yeah.
And now you want to be a barber, but you went to school for over 10 years to do this.
A lot of the time is because they don't want to disappoint family.
Yes. Yeah, that's a whole different.
Really fucking pisses me off because I'm like, yo, dude, like, you know.
It's your life. You got one.
Well, first of all, it's your life. And if your mom, or it's usually dads.
I know where you're going with this.
If your dad doesn't want you to be a hairstyler or
and you're just making that decision.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're doing it because your dad's sad? You are a loser, dude. You're a fucking pussy. You're a loser. And I would not rate you at all.
All right, someone had to say it.
Your daddy doesn't want you to be a barber. How about shut the fuck up and go prove to your dad you can fucking be a barber?
How about you become a barber?
That's making a man's decision.
Exactly. Go fucking become a barber and show him the paycheck.
My mom and dad are upset. You fucking idiot.
Dude, someone had to say it.
Dude, you think my mom and dad wanted me to get tattoos? Well, I fucking went and did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, parents disapprove of shit all the time.
Here's the thing. They might not be proud initially is because they don't understand. And then they won't question it when you go in and show them the paycheck.
Literally. Prove it. Be the I told you so person. That's what I've always been. I'm like.
Even better. Use that as fuel.
Exactly. How about this?
Use that as fuel.
How about this? Mom and dad, okay? Give me 2 years. Let me prove it to you. If in 2 years it didn't work,
then I'll change. Then I'll do whatever you want.
Right. Then you were right.
And I'll do what you want or not. At least you'll have the rights to say you were right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. But I've only ever made decisions, you know, and I get it. I know it's probably hard out there to disappoint your family. But at the end of the day, your parents have probably also disappointed their parents in some sort of way and decisions that they've made. Do you know what I mean? And whether they've worked there, they haven't worked. But again, you can't say no to trying something because it could be that next thing that you decide that could be the thing that takes off. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not telling you to put your eggs in a million baskets. Do you know what I mean? But again, I mean, I'm very lucky. My mom put me in here. My mom was like, I know the greatest job for you. Right. And that's what I always say to people. I'll tell you a funny story. I'm in my apartment. And I told like two of the boys that I was living with at the time, I was like, I think I'm going to do hair. And they're like, dude, that's gay. And I was like, so mortified. I was like, oh shit, I can't do that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because it didn't seem like a thing. You know what I mean? And then as time went by, my mom was explaining to me, she's like, listen, you get to wear what you want. You're going to be around people that you want to be. There's music, there's fashion, there's culture. I thank God every single day
that your mom told you.
That my mom wanted.
You think you would have done it if she didn't though?
All my mom wanted to do her entire life was be a hairdresser, and her grandparents my grandparents would not let her be a hairdresser. Do
you think that would have been your path if she didn't open her mouth?
Probably, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
But when she put me in it, I fell in love instantly. Yeah. That's when I was like, yo, this is
sick.
This is for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was never going to be in an office. Which is funny because now I kind of work in an office because I'm doing office business shit all the time. Now my office looks a little bit different than a cubicle, right? But I tell people all the time, like when people ask me what I'm doing, I say go to the office. The school or Glassbox is the office because we have to do admin shit. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I think people sometimes, as we talk to see on social media, Peter must be having a great day. Yeah. You don't fucking know when the basement's flooded and there's shit poo explosion coming up and I'm down there dealing with it.
I have a question then. So what do you think now is the number one skill set or number one emotion or whatever that is? I feel like you know where I'm going with this, where you need to acquire this one thing for you to be able to last long in this industry. And where I'm going with this is like, I've always said like you have to have thick skin.
Sure.
You have to be willing to take a lot of pain because the pain will come from not understanding what to do and making a lot of mistakes. What do you think has been the biggest thing for you?
Two things. Okay. Number one, and I'll tell you a funny story. I really think you got to drop your ego. Like I really.
And what does that mean? Because people don't, that word gets tossed around. What does that actually look like?
Can I tell you a story?
What does that look like?
I'm going to tell you a story. People are going to be shocked by what I'm about to tell you. Okay. When we opened up Glassbox, Kevin Luckman was in town. We went to
the show with Thad,
right?
Yes.
And I challenged Kevin while he was on stage. I don't know if you remember that.
Maybe.
I challenged him. Well, Kevin went on a podcast a couple years ago and basically called me out for it.
Okay.
And I was pissed. I was pissed about it. But I did a massive...
What did you say?
I forget I asked him a question, but I was challenging him to be like the bigger guy in the room. You know, I was really trying to like get something from him to like sort of prove something to like people there. Like and we were with Menspire at the time and I just had this fucking ego like I'm the man. And what ended up happening was I ended up fucking ruining a relationship with the person that I actually respected.
Yeah.
So you know what I did a couple weeks ago? This is like, I don't know, only 6 months ago. I sent Kevin a huge letter and apologized to him, being like, bro, I was out of line. I should never have done it. And I really hope that when I see you, I can give you a big hug. And now we talk all the time. And it was such a fucking stupid thing for me to do, but it was a young man's mindset
and that's funny.
to think to flex and puff your chest. And we've all been there, but I think it makes me more of a man that I was able to identify it was an idiot mistake.
Yeah.
I want that relationship and I'd rather be cool with people. Like I've done dumb shit. I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't done dumb shit. I have, but it was like, man, what was I thinking? What was I doing? So for young people out there, go ahead, go challenge people, go be fucking stupid. I've done it. It really brought me nothing. It brought me more, but it actually made me more upset. It made me
that's what I'm saying. Think about how upset you were for such a long time, knowing that you respected this individual and they didn't respect you because of a comment you made.
Stupid.
Because of your ego. For sure. But the ego was because you loved him and you respected him and you were just like, you just wanted to puff your chest.
It was why did I puff my chest?
Because you wanted him to respect you.
Sure.
That's where it came from.
None of it made sense. But it takes time and growth and effort to like kind of look back at that and be like, fuck, I'm embarrassed of that.
Yeah.
I'm actually embarrassed of that moment. I'm also embarrassed of certain things of how I handled stuff, even when certain people left the company. Like it takes time because when you lose a barber that first couple times, bro, I was so upset when you left.
Well,
when you called me that day, bro, I didn't know what to say to you because it hadn't happened before.
But it also, I've done the same. I've only been able to know the feeling because I was in your position owning a shop and people have left. And I was like, I built a lot of animosity towards them because they left because I was like, I trained them this and that. But at the end of the day, like there's so many factors to this. Like one, you look like a weaker leader when you're talking bad about them. Bro, and their reputation, your reputation is the most important. For sure. There's so much good that'll happen because this is what happens as well when you change. And this is exactly what happened to me. When I started showing love to them and like calling them, being like, hey dude, how you been? Like, how's everything? They started referring other people to me and I've actually acquired other barbers because of that reason. There you go. You get where I'm going with this, right?
For sure.
There's only good that'll come out of this. And only bad that'll come out of you just being upset over it. Dude. For a long time.
Well, that's the thing.
And it's not worth it. You don't need more rocks in the backpack to be carrying.
Well, Hugo's a good example, right? You know, Hugo came.
Shout out to Hugo Larquise.
I love the guy.
From Montreal.
You know, but Hugo came, I put him on my couch. He lived with me. And I don't think Hugo didn't like working for me. I think Hugo didn't like Toronto. That was a big part of it. And he was unhappy. Right? He came and did what he needed to do, but I was upset when he quit because I was like, bro, I brought you here. You lived on my couch, gave you the shirt off my back, but it wasn't about me. Right? So that day he quit, like I still think about it. And that's actually one of the first times I was like, you know what? That can never happen like that ever again. You know?
No, just give him that. I'm good.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you for that. Thanks for the beer.
Yeah.
You know me too well. Oh, I gotcha. But that's the thing, like it's sometimes those things, and like I was like, yo, I never want that again. But even when you called me, first of all, think about this when you called me, all right?
COVID.
We're COVID. And I knew it was coming, dude. I knew someone was gonna quit. I knew it was
something bad was about to come. Yeah. By the way, I want you to have context. Remember when I called you, I said, Peter, I love you and I love everything you've done for me. Not word for word, but it was something similar to this.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I actually don't know what I want. And I don't have a plan on opening a shop, but I know that's where I'm going to, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
But regardless, it doesn't matter. Like,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah. And then whatever transpired.
Well, I was just like, oh, fuck, man. Like I'm losing one of my number one guys. You know what I mean? Who like, not only were you a hair cutter, but you're an educator. There was a lot, right? And we're in the worst fucking time probably of our lives that we'll probably see, which is we couldn't work, right? So I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, well, dude, I always say this, it comes in threes. So you quit, RB quits, Tevin quits. 3 guys in a span of 6 weeks.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But Tevin, I think, went out west. RB wanted to go into women's hair. But that actually opened up the door for 3 new guys. And I ended up having Mark Nugent work for me and Andrew Tran.
You actually had a solid team after.
Oh, bro, we did. But again, being a great business owner is how do you turn that paradigm shift when your team leaves? It's not about the team leaving, it's how do you rebuild the team that stays?
And how do you act when situations like this
happen?
Sure.
But
who are you when shit ain't going your way?
But that's what I mean. But going back to the Kevin Luckman thing, I realized I'm like, dude, the ego was crazy. And that's the thing is like, even sometimes I think people will see me online and be like, oh, Peter thinks he's all this and all that. That is passion. That's the passion. And we talked about that in the last podcast.
Well, someone said it on the podcast.
Do you know what I mean? What's that?
Time. There's like, oh, you're interrupting Peter. It's like, dude, I'm passionate. This is how we talk because we love what we do.
You and I have always had conversations like this. They don't actually know our dynamic because you and I would be screaming at each other.
This is us being calm right now.
Yeah, that's
I'm letting him speak way too much.
You know, for sure. But again, so like number one, I think you really got to drop the ego and be super humble. And I think you need to be You know, dude, think about this. Even when we started, I used to like comment on people if they'd done a shit haircut. I never make comments like that anymore. If anything, if I'm in a position and I see someone who's done bad work and people are ripping them apart, I'm like, hey man, you should try this next time and go get some education.
Going, yeah.
I always try to leave something positive on something. So people tag me and shit. You know, I saw a guy recently put up a haircut. It's not a good haircut. And the fucking comments, and I started clicking on people and I realized some of these people had like followings or like well-known people in North America. I'm like, dude, you're actually making yourself look bad now. And I really try to be mindful of the stuff that I comment on, and it should be coming from a positive space. Well, I think if you're in this industry and you want it to grow.
Well, I always say this, like if you're really good at your job and you're really good at what you do, like how are you becoming a leader and a good influence on people that look up to you by saying negative things on someone? Like you should, like your whole, like the whole point and goal for you become so good is to share that knowledge and get people to get to your level. That's a true leader. Right? 100%.
But you said best, like when you have those people leaving and you're fucking throwing a fit in the shop because you train these 3 guys and they worked for you for so long, and all of a sudden you're reacting in this manner in front of your team that are there, they're looking at you like being like, yo, this guy's fucking, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
So what? People quit jobs all the time. Unfortunately, the old school mentality of the barbershop is, you know, you work for me, you owe me. I don't think that's how it is anymore. I think it's you work for me. We have a great transparent agreement. And when you don't want to work for me anymore because you don't like the agreement and you want to leave, that's up to you, right? That's how I want to deal with it now. And of course, we're always trying to keep and retain staff. How you're trying to retain clients, we're also trying to retain staff,
yeah.
Right? Now, there's only so far we can go on the ceiling before it's like, hey man, you have 2 options. You either have to go open your own shop, but again, you think you're going to be making what you're making here? No, you're actually going to go back, and it's probably going to take you 5 years to get back here because now you're responsible for the business and you're responsible for everyone else. And guess who eats last? The fucking owner. Owners. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you eat last because everyone else is going to be. And like you said,
you're no matter. This is a true leader. Knowing this is what I said. Knowing that you're bleeding maybe for let's say a month, 2 months, 3 months, and knowing that you still have to show up and become the best leader every single day, knowing that you're losing money and pay the people that work for you. You still got to feed your people.
Buddy,
that is a true leader.
That
is a true leader. A true leader pays people no matter how much pain they're going through because they still have to show up as a leader. That's your responsibility.
Opening a school has been the hardest thing I've ever done. And I wouldn't even sit on here and tell you, like, dude, it's been hard. It's tough, man. It's hard. It's hard to everything. Where do I begin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The place, like the construction.
The construction, the landlord, the legal.
Well, you said it, right? Opening the shop has been fucking hard. And then that's when you start. Then you got to get people in the door. That's a whole different ball game. That's you now have the door. The door could open now. Great.
Dude, I love on Instagram. It's the picture of the key when they're opening the barbershop, picture of the key in the door, all the renovations, all exciting.
Buddy, this is day one.
The business, yeah. And then the business opens and then they're like, oh, fuck, I have to work here now. You know what I mean? Like this is it. And then the buzz goes. It's like, you know what? This is the best example I tell people. Opening a barbershop or a salon is like having a newborn. First 3 months, everyone wants to see the baby, rock the baby, come feed the baby, whatever. And then 3 months goes away.
It's not as hyped anymore.
Well, there's a new barbershop that's just open, and one of your barbers is left to go and do it, and they're fucking jerking off about it as well. Like
it's an ever flow of the same thing.
So, you know, I see people get real excited, and that's great.
Who have you seen do a good job consistently still, and the hype maybe, you know,
barber, stylist, or own what are you in?
I'm talking about business owners. Like, who are you seeing as business owners or barbershops or brands that have done a really good job, that have showed up consistently and they're still around? I mean, and they're doing well month over month. They're growing.
You do have to commend Sam and Josh.
Right.
You can't not. You know what I mean? And again, you know, shout out to Sam and Josh. Inspire. You can't say they haven't done a great job. You know, and Josh will go down in history because he did change how a lot of us looked at hair. Do you know what I mean? Maybe some people would disagree with that, but you know, Josh definitely is up there as not only a great hair cutter, but they did change how you and I looked at hair. We went there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And we worked with those guys and we had a great relationship with those guys, you know? So I think Sam and Josh have done a good job. You know, in terms of like other brands, I think those guys, Paradox down in the States,
12 Pel,
New York. Yep, 12 Pel, New York. You know, there's others out there. I mean, Alan, I think at Ruger has done a great job. You know what I mean? Kevin's on his second location right now. I was talking to Kevin Luckman. I think Kevin's going to have a very strong brand because Kevin is a great hair cutter. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot.
At the end of the day, but Kevin also brings other elements. Same as John, like in this thing.
What's cool about everyone is like they got their component. Like Kevin's also a really good photographer, right? That's different. You don't just see someone.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Let's talk about other elements that people bring to their business. Okay, when I look at Josh, right, and Josh is. We'll use Josh as an example. Josh had the brand, but then stepped into education and saw that he needed the education to also filter people into the shops, attract people internationally. And I think sometimes Josh probably didn't realize what he's actually built. Because I meet with Josh, he's like, "Can you believe this? I'm going to Brazil." I'm like, "Yeah, it's sick, dude. Like, it's insane. The power of social media, right?" But like the reality is that like Josh has also got an eye for fashion and clothes and certain things, and so does Sam. Like Sam is also passionate about other stuff, and I think they brought other things into their business. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Kevin loves doing photography, Charlie, fashion, photography. There's other things people have brought opposed to just standing behind the chair. So even if you want to stand behind the chair, you know, and we were talking about Sam Rascals, or like Sam's made a great personal brand, but Sam's also killed. I bet you that guy's killed himself building content.
1000% yes.
I believe.
I don't even have to ask.
Buddy, to put a camera up to lay in your bed and do the wake up video, I think is the most insane thing. And like he does, and he's like all sexy with his shirt off, and I'm just like, holy fuck, this guy looks good. I'm like, oh dude, am I gay? Like, like you know what I mean? But like it's like to do that is effort. Like, dude, to film your coffee in the morning, like, dude, I don't do that shit. Yeah. I like go and like mic me up. I'm gonna talk about real shit on the mic for people. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the reality. But like that's the difference. I've seen so many people do so many different things. And I do believe there's a lot of space for people still. And I still don't think people have monetized YouTube. Like the Faded Culture guys built an entire brand. Now people are buying their clothes because they were good at fading on the internet.
By the way, their clothes does very well.
Dude.
I've heard it does.
They send it to me. I love it.
Yeah.
The quality's good too.
That, and it's like, it's filtered them through their YouTube. So they built an engine for them to acquire clients. And then the other element of clothing has also nurtured other people. And here's the thing, the reason why is because on YouTube, they've dressed really well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people that they realized there was a market for it, of people being like, yo, how do you dress? What's the clothes you're wearing? And then they're like, okay, we should maybe build this other brand. And it happens. Right. You're not going to get the answers right away. It happens naturally. It's an ebb and flow of you consistently doing the mundane work every day. And naturally people are going to fall in love with certain aspects of you. And you're going to realize, maybe that should be another business avenue I should step into.
Right.
For you, you got really good at precision. You didn't open an academy right away. You realize, oh shit, we're good at this thing. People want this knowledge because people came to you asking for it.
For sure.
Everyone, there was a question yesterday. I want to ask you this. How do you know when you're ready to become an educator?
I mean, the education game is interesting because you said it as well. Everyone wants to be a business coach now, right? I feel like being an educator is not even as popular as being a business coach.
No.
I think business coach has now become more popular. So now it's like barbershop owner, educator, business coach.
Business online coach for people.
Or something along, but like, there's a lot of it on the internet. But I think you got in at the right time. I think you also, and this is what I say to people. I've had people ask me like, should I do Learn to Cut? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? I'm like, because he came from me. Seriously. You worked for me for a long period of time from a very young age. And I don't believe for 2 seconds that you did not bring systems from Silver Arrow and apply at least some of them, or from Glassbox and apply. Sure. There's things that you applied there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that we did a good job. Now you're running an online business now, which is very successful. And I'm psyched for you. Do you know what I mean? And obviously you know what happens in a barbershop or a salon. It's not what people think it really is.
And same with the online world, but yes, you get such a small glimpse of the reality because the truth is a lot of people just don't want to share the bad. No one wants to share because there's nothing good to share about the bad. No one wants to be showing negative things online. Everyone wants to show something positive, right?
No, they don't.
But when they realize if you had the full, and that's what I think when the summit, that's what the whole point of the summit is. When we show you the reality, we show you the papers, we show you exactly how the business is ran, you can make the decision for yourself on what you want to step into next because there are so many different avenues. You could go with the product lane, you could go with the educational lane, you could go with the personal brand lane, but have the context before you make that decision so you know what you're getting yourself into. Do you want to hear something crazy?
Andrew, my business partner, he doesn't even like when we do the business stuff because he's like, dude, are we going to give up the bag? Are we going to give up the secrets? Are we going to give this stuff away? I'm like, I think it is important that we sometimes do help people because at the end of the day, and this is what I kind of said to him, if we don't have people opening at barbershops, if we don't have people coming to education, we're now irrelevant.
But can I be honest about that? I think that information is going to be so much more, I mean, it already is accessible, where they could get a lot of this information from watching other like people online that have built billion-dollar businesses, and you can learn a lot of this stuff.
For sure.
So it's not a matter of like giving the information. It's like they're going to still want to hear it from you because of your story and your journey, and because they trust you and like you, and they're going to want to hear it from you and the way you convey that message. For sure. Because at the end of the day, anything we share, you share, I share, it's not a secret. No. Right? You can still find this information in books. You can find it in podcasts. You can find it anywhere, really. For sure. Business is business at the end of the day. It's still run the same way. Right?
I mean, you can read The Wealthy Barber if you want. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think that, you know, and we don't have to talk about the summit too much, but like the reality is that, you know, we're an education company, and education has gone so much further than just the technical skill, because I don't think the technical skill gets you very, very far at this point. And I hate to say that, but I think that's hard for people to hear.
I know.
The technical skill is literally one portion of it.
I agree.
And the thing is like, again, you can be the best hair cutter in the world, but if you can't put people in the chair and you can't manage people behind the chair, forget it. Like, and I think that's the big thing. But going back, and this is kind of like an interesting thing, because I don't think like a lot of people really know, like, it's so funny when we were in London, because you were in the class with me, right? And you got to remember, like, I go to Menspire because we see it online and we think it's something that we need to do. I had no idea. And this is the power of kind of like the world, okay? Here you and I are sitting 10 years later talking about the last 10 years. Do you know what I mean? And you were just like a kid in this class who was funny to me, who went by the faceless barber and wore bandanas and did Instagram videos and didn't show his face. Do you know what I mean? Like that is a pretty hilarious concept to me. Do you know what I mean? And I think you had kind of a funny understanding. And I don't know if you remember this story, but one time you drove me up to a meeting. I don't know if you remember.
The wall meeting?
No, was it the wall meeting?
Maybe.
I forget. You drove, I didn't have my license. You were my driver. How funny is that?
Fucking, I was your fucking Uber driver.
Me and you in the blue Civic listening to fucking to Young Thug. Yeah. Oh, dude, that kills me, man. See, that's how good my memory is, right?
Wow.
Okay. But I remember like you, and I don't know if you remember telling me this story, but you had told me in that car ride how you'd started this clothing company and how you were doing clothing. So I knew from a very early stage, because I had spent different time with you, that you were like, oh, this kid's like a bit entrepreneurial. He has some ideas. He likes clothes. He likes fashion. He likes music, you know, and you were like always kind of, and then you showed me like an Instagram page you had, which was a completely different Instagram that had like 10,000 followers. And you're like, yeah, dude, I sold clothes through this. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. Do you know what I mean? So there was like other stuff that I think that like I got to learn about you as our relationship grew, right? Because I thought you were just some kid coming from Montreal. But let me ask you this question. This is something I was thinking about on my drive in today, because this is very similar to me. How many places did you work prior to you opening Silver Arrow and running your own business?
Dude.
Because I can bet you I can tell you the number.
What's the number?
4.
7.
Okay, wow. Okay.
And that is a huge component of why I understood the business. And you want to know what the best job was that I had? And it was the hardest? You won't believe it. Being the guy that was stocking shelves and clothing at Zara.
Right.
My best job. My best job. It was the hardest. I hated the job.
Right.
But I learned discipline. Right. And I learned how to eat shit. And I learned how I was like a nobody. I was the fucking bitch boy. Right. Go get me this. Go get me that every 2 seconds. Carrying fucking bags of clothing. Jesus. And then I worked for my dad. I worked everywhere, dude. I've done every job you could think of. Then I had my own clothing line. I worked at Rudsack, which was another clothing store. Okay. But all these things, and then I was on the floor, so I had to talk to clients.
How many salons or barbershops did you work at, though?
I worked at, the first one was a Cuban one. Then the
Waldy's.
Yes. Yeah, which was a student of mine after.
I like Waldy.
Yeah, Waldy was hilarious.
OG.
And I worked at Nuva, and then I worked at Nuva downtown in Montreal.
Same company, then, right?
Yeah, same company.
But it's 4.
That's 4, yeah.
Then me.
Then you.
Then where?
Then I worked a little bit.
Yeah, whatever. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I just
that was transition. I was transitionary.
George, yeah. But yeah, 4.
But this is what I'm saying. I only really worked at W, Chivello, Grateful Head, Blood and Bandages, Bellwoods, Glassbox. But this is what I was going to say about you. This is what's important. This is what I try to tell all new young barbers. Number 1, pick the 5 best places in the city and do not take no for an answer. Go and work there. Number 2, stay there for as long as you can and build, whether you like it or not, because again, you might not like rules, but obviously they've done something and you should abide by those rules and you'll learn the rules.
Yes.
So when you're bitching about the rules because they're complaining at you for showing up late, doing this, doing that,
understand the game before you could.
Take it this way. You might be on that side of the coin very soon, right? The only reason I worked 4 places is because I built myself as a tile on the floor in all those places. So when I did leave to go, I was set. You want to jump around and go to 12 different places? That shit ain't going to fly, buddy. That is not going to fucking fly anymore. I tell people all the time, like, why? Imagine if you brought me a resume and it said that you'd been at like 9 barbershops in 4 years. I'm not going to hire you. Like, paper shredder, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Like, no chance.
There's a reason why. The first question that comes to mind, why?
Who is the problem here?
Yeah.
Who is the problem?
It's like having like 12 girlfriends, you know, before you find your wife. Like
Dude, every
year you changed a new girl. You know, you just
no
had a new
chance am I hiring you. That's the honest thing. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, and this is the thing, is I'll ask them, like, why didn't you like the last place? And this is what I was saying to you over here. I said, why didn't you like the last place? And like, oh, this, the rules, the structure, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll ask them this. I'm like, but would you put those rules and structure in your own business? Well, blah, 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 blah. Well, of course you would. Or you're going to have a fucking chaotic business. So you can talk shit about all the business that you worked at. The reality is when you go to probably open up your own business, if you don't have a hypocrite, because you're going to imply those things anyway. Because you can't have people showing up late. You can't have people on drugs.
And if you don't, you're not going to have a failed business. As simple as that.
And if you don't want rules, go open a suite and work on your own.
Yes.
Cut it at the end.
Don't get upset over people having what's the word I'm looking for? No, it's not responsibilities, but having rules.
For sure.
Don't get upset over people having rules. Expectations. But there was another word I was looking for. Anyways. Yeah, don't get upset over people having expectations when you're going to end up having one when you open your own business. Yeah, and this is what I always say. Every business, and dude, including me, like I said, I've worked for the best. I literally worked, I think, for the best people in the city of Toronto. And at all times, every salon or barbershop was in the top 10. Always. Because I wouldn't work for anything less because I had a standard. Do you know what I mean? Once you start eating at Michelin star restaurants and that's the expectation of food, you're not going to go to a non-Michelin star restaurant unless it's working on its way to get a Michelin star to be like, oh, this is my standard now. You know what I mean? If I'm eating here, I'm eating here. And these are the expectations. Well, maybe we need a Michelin because, you know, I was thinking about that. There should be one for the barbershops. Because here's the thing. The reason why I say this is because when there's a chef wanting to work at a Michelin star restaurant, dude, they'll do the bitch work. They'll do the dirty work because they know how important it is because all they want on their resume is to say they worked at a Michelin star restaurant. Dude. Because you know how powerful that is? You know how powerful it is to be like, look where I worked? Because they could work anywhere after. They should think of it in that way.
Well, put it this way. This is not to toot my ego, as we've talked about, but I mean, I think if you work a glass box and then go take your resume somewhere, you're probably going to get a job. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's because they're probably like, okay, but there's only going to be 2 questions. Is why are you coming to work here? Right? True. And did Peter fire you?
Let me call Peter.
You know what I mean? Dude, this has happened. I've had people leave. I mean, we had a couple of people move away and the owners will call me like, hey, so-and-so applied. I'm like, yeah, man, great employee. Yeah. Right. And that's why I always say to people, and this is why, I mean, I've been very lucky. We've never really had people steal from us. Right. But like, that's basically one of the number 1 rules for me. I'm like, dude, you steal from me,
you're done.
You're done. That's never eating at the table ever again. You can never be at this table again. How quickly would you
let go of them?
Immediately. That's not even a warning.
Yeah.
We did that this year with someone.
Yeah.
Gone. Gone.
It's the saying, you do it once, do it again. Well, you just got caught. That's the difference.
Put it this way.
How long are you doing it for?
This is what I say to people though, right? Okay? Listen, everyone stays after hours and does a haircut. We know, right? But
hey, I'm not going to drop this.
Yeah. Oh, we know. But here's the reality. So my dad told me a really important lesson. He goes,
by the way, I don't steal that.
When you're in, no, it's different. Okay.
There was the reason why I did that, but this is for another day.
No. But listen, this is my dad.
And for people to know, it was after our haircuts.
Yeah. But my dad
Peter knew about it.
My dad said this to me, okay? And this is a great thing that my dad said. Here. My dad said 2 things, okay? You're going to like this. They're going to like this, okay? Number 1, when you own a business, okay? It's not about theft. It's about controlling how much theft. Okay? That's number 1.
What is that even supposed to be?
Listen, fuck, man. Fucking, dude, you don't think people have taken a roll of toilet paper home? This shit happens.
Holy shit.
Do you know what I mean? Bro,
if they got to take toilet paper home, there's a fucking problem.
Hey, man, I've seen it all. You know what I mean? It's about controlling it. And again, I can also be very generous. But I'll tell you this right now. If you're going to fucking steal from me, I better come into work the next day and it better be gone.
You better be gone.
Fucking take the chairs, take the mirrors. Because if you're willing to lose your job over a fucking $60 haircut, you're an idiot. You're a loser. You're a loser, man. Like, think about it. Like, really? Yeah. You're really
so you're going to rob the bank and just rob the whole bank?
I'd rather you call call me and be like, hey man, I mean, if you called me and been like, dude, I'm having a hard time.
Right.
Can I stay and do 2 extra haircuts? I'll figure it out with you, man.
Dude,
I'd rather you fucking be honest with me and we'll figure it out versus being like, oh shit. Because at the end of the day, now you're going to lose your entire job. And you're going to lose the respect of not only me, but people in the business.
And I think like, you'd be surprised because most of the time, if they're a good person, the answer to that would be like, yes. And thank you for letting me know.
For sure. So like what is...
And now you know where they stand. Oh, they're struggling with money. Now you can make decisions based off that. Maybe you tell them, okay, do an education class, do this, do that, come in afterward, clean the shop, I'll pay you more, whatever. You can
if you're buying a box of 12 Bic pens a week, right? And at the end of, you buy the box of pens on Monday and by Friday, every single pen is gone because every staff member has decided to take a pen home. And at the end of the year, you realize you've bought 4 boxes of pens literally in a month, right? That shit's going to fucking add up. And it's not just about the pen, but that could be toilet paper. That could be retail. That could be, it could be, dude, whatever. You could be dude, one of the things that bothers me the most is barbers taking shit from other barbers and not replacing them.
I've dealt with that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not have your own tools? Imagine you showed up at a job site and you didn't have a hammer. They'd laugh at you. You work here? You don't have a hammer? So how are you going to build? Like, you got to have your own shit. But for me, like, again, at the end of the day,
so
it's like,
I think
you got to minimize.
By the way, that's happened.
It's always going to happen.
Sometimes I've had people being like, are you going to supply the tools? Like, are you going to get me clippers and scissors if I come work for you? I've had that before. The truth is, where does that stem from? Is that lack of education, lack of respect of our industry? Because here's the thing. I don't think a lot of other shops or a lot of other schools are really teaching them the right stuff. Like, the number one thing you should teach someone is professionalism. That's 100%. Literally where it comes down to. And look, we could go back in time. It could be your family. It could be the values your family, raised you in, and that, sure. So I guess the question I ask you, and I think this is a better question. What is the thing you look at when it comes to hiring someone? Are you looking at skills? Are you looking at tools? Or are you looking at character, personality? What are the characteristics?
I think at this point, I think you can only hire on attitude.
Right. How can you tell though off of an interview? You can't. You give them a shot, right?
Well, I will give people that information at the summit because that's a huge part of my onboarding thing. I'm not going to give that to you now. That's a huge one. The onboarding process with us is huge.
Wow.
And that is one of the most powerful things to make sure that you don't end up with a shit employee by month 6. I've been through it all. You and I both know people that you were there when I brought people on. We're like, yo, they're great. And then 6 months in, we're like, let's get these fucking guys out of here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And
there was a time there was no onboarding at Glassbox, and it was anyone could fucking
dude.
And it's not your fault.
They were good at cutting hair, not necessarily good at being people.
Yeah, I would say you've done a very good job now, and I could see it very obviously that the people that you work,
wrangled that in very.
You have a very good
before
culture.
It got out of control.
You have a very good culture.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, dude, there's just like certain people there's just certain people that I would hire now. And I just know,
respectful people.
But would you not say? And I mean, you gotta sort of get this vibe too. You'll know when you get on the phone with someone. You can give them about 30 minutes of advice.
To be honest, I think you can tell pretty easily, very quickly.
For sure.
If you've been around, you know people. Here's the thing: we're in the fucking people's business, so we've been around people for over 10 years. We understand people. We understand personalities. Where I bet you could figure out pretty quickly who's good and who's not.
I know. Well, I did a job interview. I did a job interview with someone that you sent me today. Right? The guy interviewed very well. Everyone's going to interview well, but there was other things that he said at key points. I was like, this is a guy. This is a guy. And I said to him, I was like, dude, I expect to have you for 2.5 to 3 years because that's my max now. And I'll explain that at the summit as well. I'm not expecting to own people. That's the problem with barbershop owners, man. They're like, oh, dude, this fucking guy owes me. I'm like, this guy doesn't know you shit. So what? You trained him. Dude, it doesn't matter. We have to train people. You have to train people for your business. That's like McDonald's being like...
What do you do as a business owner, right? If you have this, you set the expectation of having 2.5, 3 years and they leave before, right? Do you think it's the business owner's fault though? Because I always ask that question. Because here's the thing. If you supplied education, supplied money, right? You gave them everything, every opportunity, and you were the best in the industry. There's nowhere else that they could go to get the level of information and growth. Would you not then have that question? Like, well, what's up?
You can get as angry as you want. You can get as upset as you want. What do you say? What do you do? You fucking accept it.
Yes.
You accept the situation that your judgment might have been wrong.
There we go. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, okay? This is my new thing. I talk about it all the time. I literally have a reel that's probably going up this week about it, okay? I only blame one person when shit doesn't go well anymore.
Yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't go to work and point fingers. Can't yell at managers. Can't yell at barbers. If something's not going
Jocko Willing. Have you seen it?
Of course.
Have you read it?
But I literally, me and Andrew will just go like this now. It's our fault.
Yeah.
We get on phones as business owners and business partners, and we'll just be like, well, that didn't work.
Why didn't it work?
Didn't know what we do differently? Right. They didn't know what to do right.
Because we didn't train them.
Whose fault is it?
Yours.
Fine.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Story.
Here's the thing. When you accept it, you could control it. If you could control it, you could get better at it, and you can not make that mistake twice. You get better at it through time. That's it. Every decision you've made. And here's the thing. You are where you're at in life because of you. Don't have this expectation that you're supposed to be somewhere else and you're blaming other people. At the end of the day, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Exactly where you're supposed to be.
But a lot of people,
it takes a lot of like balls, strength, and it takes a lot of humbleness to accept it. Because a lot of people will say it, but you accept it.
But that's why, even going back when I talked about the ego thing, there was like so many times where I had to like realize and check my ego, being like, fuck, man, I think I fucked this up for myself.
Yeah.
The only person here responsible for the way things are going here is because I did this, I said that, I didn't do this. And again, that's why Andrew and I just get on the phone and like, I guess it's our fault.
My opinion on how to just become successful in any aspects of your business and life is just literally, it comes down to this. We said it before. I said it before. I was like, if you have to push for sales, you have to always fight for sales to get a client in your business. Yeah. That means you didn't do a good job in marketing, right? Yeah. If your marketing was really good, you wouldn't have to sell.
No.
If you have to market yourself a lot, put yourself online a lot, you have to push for marketing, that means your product wasn't good.
Right.
Because if your product was good, it would take care of everything else.
Sure.
So I think the main focus should always be to improve your product. That means experience is product as well, customer service, improving on your haircuts, right? Improving on leadership. This is considered product. If you get better at that, everything else will just happen naturally. You won't have to kill yourself to get the marketing right, to get the sales right, to be able to make the money that you want.
Sure.
And I think you've done a really good job at that.
Well, I mean, dude.
There's a reason why.
Yeah. But like, again,
because it took 10 years.
Dude.
I don't know, my problem.
10 years and counting.
Plus another 10 because you've been.
But again, like I said to you, and like this is again what a lot of business owners are doing. They're learning somewhere, being upset with the current. So let's just say.
Do you think there's wrong information out there?
Oh my God. Buddy. Are you kidding me? It's like 50% of barbershops I go into. That's hard for people to hear. But again, this is what I said.
There's another problem.
Okay. So here's a barber working in a barbershop or a salon person working in a salon. They've only learned from bad behavior in the place that they're currently working. Then they're like, fuck this guy or fuck this girl or fuck this person. I'm going to do my own thing. But they take the exact system that they had and then they implement it here because this is all that they know. Now they change a couple things. But again, because they wasn't structured here, and that's mainly a lot of barbershops are like, well, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be the boss. I want to be in charge. I don't want any rules. I don't want someone telling me when I need to be here, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you don't have the discipline, first of all, you're in trouble, right? But again, I've seen it time and time again, and all they do is replicate bad businesses time and time and time again. And then all of a sudden, you just have a line of bad businesses.
And businesses.
Right? And then I've asked them, I'm like, so where did things go wrong? Or why are things not going this way? Or what's happening here? You know what I mean? And I don't sit here and say that Andrew and I have
figured everything.
Yeah, we don't have the holy grail
of information.
Of information. That's not true at all. Like Andrew and I had a very difficult conversation today. We had a hard combo because that's what being in fucking business is having tough conversations about fucking shit that you don't want to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
And shit that we don't like.
A lot of people's problems is not having those tough conversations. But you have to be willing to make the tough conversation now, because I'm telling you, if you don't do it today, you're just going to have a way bigger headache and the problem's going to just get way bigger and it's just naturally going to come out. Well, and when it naturally comes out and it's a reactive situation, it's going to be way worse because it's going to be a reactive decision rather than having a conversation that's tough today.
So let me ask you this, okay? And I mean, when you worked for us at Glassbox, how was your experience?
For people to have context, I was 19, so I was a little shit. My initial problem was actually staff, but I was also a little shit. So I always had issues with other people in the shop. Fair enough. You came up to me multiple times saving my ass, being like, hey dude, like few staff members are complaining about you. I got your back. You got to fucking relax here. Yeah. You got to like ease it up, because I had an ego. I got good at cutting hair, and then, I became cocky, right? And people didn't like that. So that was my initial part, was like, that was the hard part. And I got humbled very fast. Thank God I had RB. RB was actually a big component of being like, bro, like, listen, this is how it's going to go. And if you don't change it up, like I can only back you up so much as well. But this is what's going to end up happening. You're going to end up just leaving. You're going to quit.
There's a bit of mentorship there for him, right?
Yes, because I had older people around me.
Right.
But that was my tough initial part. And then what happened was, I think it was like the opportunities, like my expectations, I got cocky.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I'm good. I should get all of this. Right. But then that didn't necessarily, and I deserved it to some degree. It gave me everything I wanted because I worked fucking hard.
Yeah.
But I also pissed a lot of people off because they were there longer than me, yada, yada, yada. Right. Which happens. It's normal. But it was very difficult initially because a lot of it was just growth.
Right. And it's funny because I look
There was a few times I was like this close of like getting fired, you know?